This is now the big one. It is my Canelo versus Terence Crawford full card predictions and breakdowns. This should be interesting. Let's get right into it then, starting with a good fight between Serhii Boashak and Brandon Adams, the rematch. I will be picking Serhii Boashak to get his revenge over Brandon Adams here. Let's be honest, he was basically dominating every minute and every second of that first fight. Got caught, was sloppy when throwing the hook, just dipped right into a massive shot of Adams, and Adams was explosive. He was right on Serhii Boashak and showed his power, was able to get him out of there. But Serhii Boashak won't make the same mistake now. I feel like he's much more defensively responsible now. I feel like he's got a much better management of range. I feel like he was very good at managing range against Virgil Ortiz Jr. I feel like he looked good against Ishmael Davis. I feel like he's looked very good recently, Serhii Boashak. I expect him to win. I'm going to say Boashak wins on points. Brandon Adams is tough. He took some of Serhii Boashak's biggest shots in the last fight. I mean, it was a few years ago now, and I feel like Boashak's overall fight IQ is much better than it was. And Brandon Adams seems like the same fighter as he was. I don't think much has changed in this game. And I feel like if Adams fights like how he did again, then yeah, it's not going to be too great for him. But I feel like Boashak's going to come into the fight respecting Adams as well. He knows he can't afford to make another mistake. He knows and he's felt Brandon Adams' power before, and he was finished by it. So, yeah, it might be a fight where Serhii Boashak doesn't really want to take as many risks. It might be one where he could get him out of there, but I'm going to go and say points for Serhii Boashak. I feel like last time he was able to cut off the ring very well. But Adams didn't really look like going anywhere, though. He didn't really look like going anywhere. But Boashak has got the IQ to catch him with something better this time round. But I'm going to say points, and there might be, I reckon it might be kind of a different approach from Boashak. It's going to be interesting, but yeah, I'm going to say Boashak wins. I think overall he's much better than Adams, and he showed it in the first fight, but just got caught. Anyway, next up then we go to Sultan Al-Mohammed versus Martin Caraballo. This is Sultan Al-Mohammed's debut. I expect him to win. Saudi are really trying to get behind their fighters right now. I expect Sultan Al-Mohammed to win. I'm going to go with points. It's going to be interesting to see what another Saudi fighter's got about him, to be honest with you. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of hype around him right now in Saudi Arabia. A lot of hype around him right now. It's going to be interesting to see him in action on this card, but I expect him to win, definitely. Got a good amateur background behind him, so this should be interesting. This should definitely be interesting to see Sultan Al-Mohammed go at it. Next up then, this is an interesting one. Heavyweight action. Ivan Dyko versus Jermaine Franklin. I'm going with Ivan Dyko to win. It's a tough pick. I was unsure, but I'm going with Ivan Dyko. I don't think he's fought anyone as good as Franklin, but I feel like he's fought quite a few fighters who's got a very similar stature to Jermaine Franklin, and Dyko's been able to deal with it all right. I don't think Dyko's, going to be challenging for a title anytime soon. I don't think he's going to be contending for like top 20 anytime soon, but I feel like he's going to be able to be an inactive Jermaine Franklin. Hasn't fought recently much at all. I feel like Dyko's going to win. I think Dyko can keep him at bay with that lead hand. I think Jermaine Franklin's got quick hands and decent pressure, but I see Dyko being able to keep him on the end of his jab. I think Dyko's going to win a points decision here. It's going to be interesting to see, but I think Dyko's got a good uppercut, which, we could lure him into with biting that jab. Inactivity is going to cost Franklin, and Franklin does like to make it messy on the inside a bit as well. I think from what we've seen of Dyko, He can gas it as it goes on, but yeah, I think Daiko will outpoint him. I think Daiko will be able to outpoint Jermaine Franklin. Yeah, I see it being a frustrating fight for Franklin. Daiko's going to be able to keep him on the end of that jab. I think Daiko's got some good straight punches, which he throws, to be honest. And Franklin's not really going to like it. Franklin doesn't really move his head all too much either. I see Daiko just walking him onto quite a few shots overall, and being able to mix in a decent variety here and there. But yeah, I'm going with Ivan Daiko. That's what I'm going to say. Points. Next up, then, we go to Marco Verdi versus Marcos Osorio. Osorio, that's it. Marco Verdi, I really like Marco Verdi, to be honest with you, from what we're seeing from him. Yeah, southpaw, good lead hand, tool. I expect him to win this fight, to be honest with you, Marco Verdi. Obviously, first fight, he got a knockout in very quick fashion. Last one, though, he went the distance. I expect Osorio to be able to take him a few rounds, but I'm going to be calling a Marco Verdi stoppage. I'm going to say 4 or 5. Marco Verdi is able to get the stoppage in. Marco Verdi is an interesting fighter. You know, he can box and he's got good power. I feel like his timing's very good as well. I feel like he's definitely going to eventually want a stoppage win in this fight. I don't think he's going to want to go the distance again. I feel like he definitely got a good 6 valuable rounds in last time out. I feel like he's going to be able to get a few rounds in here, but I feel like he's going to want the stoppage. I feel like Marco Verdi kind of wanted that last fight that he was in to go the distance as well, because his first fight in his debut was just such poor matchmaking, to be honest with you. I feel like he is going to want this fight to be a stoppage. I feel like I don't think he'll chase it, but I just feel like he'll push the pace a bit more, to be honest with you, than he did last time out. I feel like he'll be coming in with a bit more intent this time round. So, yeah, I'm going to be saying Marco Verdi gets the job done here, rounds 4 or 5. Then we go to Steve Nelson versus Ryoko Santana. I'm going to be going with a Steve Nelson win. I think Santana's pretty sloppy defensively. I think Steve Nelson's got very good cardio and he can keep up a good pace, to be honest. I feel like he was able to keep up a good pace against Diego Pacheco in his last fight. I did like what I saw from Nelson in that fight. I feel like he was putting his shots together well, cutting off the ring. Santana, I think, is going to be forced to box off the back foot. I feel like he's going to struggle. I don't think he's got the power to be able to face Steve Nelson whatsoever. I don't think he's got the attacks to be able to phase him whatsoever. I don't think he's got the variety at all. I think Steve Nelson's going to be able to absolutely bully Santana, to be honest with you. I'm going to say that Steve Nelson gets I might say a late stoppage for Steve Nelson. I'm going to say a late stoppage. That's what I'm going to say. I feel like Steve Nelson could, bully him, to be honest. I reckon it's going to be very one-sided. Steve Nelson's going to be comfortable in there. I do feel like I feel like Steve Nelson parries and counters quite well as well. I think Steve Nelson's got a good lot about him, to be honest. So I'm going to go with Steve Nelson to win. Okay, then. Next up, then, we go with another Saudi prospect, Muhammad Al-Akel versus Travis Crawford. I'm going, of course, with Muhammad Al-Akel. I'm going to say points. Crawford probably could take him the distance, but again, I don't think it's one where Al-Akel's really going to be really tested. He's going to be taking the distance, but it's one where, let's be honest, Travis Crawford's going to end up covering up quite a bit. Al-Akel's going to be able to really get to him behind that lead hand, dominate the fight behind the jab. That's what I see, to be honest with you. Al-Akel just being able to dominate the fight behind the jab. But again, he's another good Saudi fighter to get behind, to be honest. And yeah, I've followed his whole pro career and he's looking good. He's looking pretty flashy as well. I feel like it's I feel like it's an up in the level. It's quite high on the card as well, surprisingly. I feel like it's the third main fight. That's what it said on the thing. I'm not sure if that's definitely the running order, though. Strange. But yeah, I'm going Muhammad Ali on points. Then we get to one of my favorite fights on the card. Yeah, my favorite fight on the card other than the main event. Christian Mbile versus Lester Martinez. I'm going to be going with. I've been really going back and forth with this. I've been really unsure, just like with the main event. But I'm going to be going with Lester Martinez. Yeah, I'm going to be going with Lester Martinez to win. I think Martinez probably hits harder than Christian Mbile. I mean, Mbile hits hard. Both guys hit hard. But with Mbile, it's just that brawling style which just tires you out and he's just relentless. But with Lester Martinez, it's just that timing, just that natural big power that he has got to phase you. And with Mbile's, of course, going to be able to take the front foot in this fight. Of course he will. Christian Mbile will be on that front foot from the off, looking to pile on the pressure onto Lester Martinez. But Lester Martinez is very calm and composed, and Lester Martinez is very good at fighting backwards as well as he is fighting forwards. I think Lester Martinez might look to try and circle around Mbile, possibly try and, circle around, try and get Mbile on the ropes, get in there, get out, pivot, move around him again, probably get back on the ropes. But, he'll be fighting well off the ropes, I think, Lester Martinez. I think this goes a distance. I feel like it's the best fight on the card other than the main event. I think Lester Martinez will win on points. I feel like there could be a bit more of an impactfulness in his shots. And I feel like Lester Martinez in this fight will be throwing some very convincing straight shots. I feel like they're going to be very convincing and nice straight shots, which I feel like Mbile's defense is underrated, but I feel like Lester Martinez has got the timing to be able to time him onto something, to be honest. And I feel like Lester Martinez is the more skillful guy, and I feel like he's the much more smarter guy. And that's the guy which I've got to predict. I've got to be predicting the smarter boxer, and that's Lester Martinez. I feel like he's going to be able to beat the pressure fighter. I feel like he's going to be able to keep up I feel like he's got the cardio forwards as well. He's going to be able to keep up the pace. I don't really see him tiring to an extent where Christian Mbile is really going to be able to fully get to him and get him out of there. I think I think they're going to drop. I think he will drop rounds. It's going to be a close and competitive fight, but I see Lester Martinez being that bit more convincing. As I said, I feel like Lester Martinez has got that very good straight right hand down the pipe. But again, what I do like from Lester Martinez is he does throw in threes and fours, which is good and can get to you. And that is going to be interesting to see what he does do to Christian Mbile. But again, Christian Mbile's body work could be a real key factor in this fight. I can see this fight both ways. Of course I can. I can see it both ways. But I'm edging to the more skilled guy in Lester Martinez. And I think he is going to be able to control it at his pace and his range as we go. To be honest, I feel like it's going to be really interesting and both guys will get success. And Mbile's going to get success to the body. He's going to be able to get him on the ropes. He could hurt Lester Martinez. But again, Lester Martinez can hurt you at any time. He could catch Christian Mbile open when Mbile's walking forward. And that's why I think it's going to happen. I feel like Lester Martinez is very good with his counters, but Mbile's just going to keep on coming forward and doing the same thing. But I feel like Lester Martinez has got that bit more variety, and Lester Martinez can mix it up that bit better. But Mbile does work from some very awkward angles, though. But I do like Lester Martinez's footwork to be able to deal with him, though. So I'm going with Lester Martinez on points. Close, split, majority decision, something like that. Anyway, next up then, we've got Ryoto Tsutsumi versus Javier Martinez. Ryoto Tsutsumi good. He's good. I think Ryoto Tsutsumi will win. I'm going to say on points. He's very good. Japan have got some very good fighters, very good boxers. Tsumi's so quick. He's so quick. I do like what we see from him, to be honest with you. Puts his shots together. He's very nice and tight, nice and compact. He's just a very good boxer to look at, a very good boxer to watch, to be honest with you. A nice flow in his shots. You can already tell in a few fights' time he's gonna he's going to be having a big fight. He's going to be having a big fight. He should be able to win here. Javier Martinez is going to really struggle to get to him, to be honest with you. So, yeah, Rieto Tsutsumi should win this fight, and I don't really think it's going to be much of an issue for him whatsoever, to be honest. So, yeah, Rieto Tsutsumi wins, and we're going to stay on points. Next up, then, we go to our co-main events. UFC's man, Dana White's man, Callum Walsh versus Fernando Vargas. Definitely both guys' toughest fight today. I'm going with a Callum Walsh win. Fernando Vargas has power. He is explosive. But Callum Walsh is nice. He's flashy. Very nice and awkward southpaw. I feel like he uses the southpaw stance to his advantage very, very nicely and well. I'm going to be saying Callum Walsh wins this fight on points. I'm going with a lot of points wins, but yeah, I think I'm going to say Callum Walsh wins on points. Both guys very clearly have power. Both guys can shut each other's lights out. But I feel like Callum Walsh is really going to look to box. And I feel like Vargas can leave himself open when he is coming forward. When he is throwing his hooks, he can leave himself open. And I think Callum Walsh is good at countering with that left hand down the pipe. I feel like he's got a good jumping lead hook as well, Callum Walsh. I feel like Callum Walsh has just got a lot more tools in his arsenal, to be honest with you, than what Fernando Vargas has. But again, Vargas can win. He can. But Walsh has got that bit more. In my opinion, he's got that bit more to his game. He's got that awkwardness to his game. And I feel like him being a southpaw is definitely going to be able to play into effect here as well. So I'm going to be going with a Callum Walsh unanimous decision. Okay, we get to our main event. Saul Alvarez, Canelo versus Terence Bud Crawford. I'm going to be going with Canelo. Yeah, I'm going to be going with Canelo. I feel like the weight's going to play an advantage here. I've said it. I'm going with Canelo. I'm going Canelo. I'd want to see Crawford win, but I'm going with Canelo. When this fight was originally announced, I was going with Crawford. But then I feel like the weights, of course, going to play a factor. There's weight classes in boxing for a reason. Crawford's so inactive. Canelo's active. Canelo's just not fazed by anyone. He's got the best chin in boxing right now. By a good margin, in my opinion. He's got a ridiculous chin. Look. Golovkin wasn't able to trouble him. The two heaviest punches who he's been in there with, Kovalev, because, 175, Bivol, 175. People will be like, oh, well, he's not the heaviest puncher at 175. Yeah, I know, but he's a 175 pounder. He hits harder than Crawford. Kovalev hits harder than Crawford. Golovkin hits harder than Crawford. Look, Crawford might be the most skilled boxer out of them all. I mean, I know, like, you've got Bivol and Golovkin to compete with there, though, as well, though. That's the thing. But again, Crawford's is absolutely unbelievable. But the thing is, I feel like he struggled when he went up to fight Islam Madrimov. He arguably lost the fight. You can't say otherwise. He arguably lost to Madrimov. And he, struggled when he went up the weight. He's now going up an extra 2 weight classes to fight Canelo, who just can't really be hurt. And Canelo's been hit by bigger punches than Crawford. I feel like if you think Crawford will win, fair enough. But if you think Crawford will be able to knock out Canelo, you are absolutely delusional and out of your mind. It just wouldn't happen. I feel like Canelo's going to be able to walk through some of Crawford's biggest shots here. And the thing is as well, with Terence Crawford, I've seen people say, oh, he's going to be able to do a demolition job on Canelo like he did to Errol Spence. Canelo doesn't make mistakes like Errol Spence does. Errol Spence Came forward, lead hand always down, kept on making the exact same mistake. Canelo doesn't do that. Canelo's got a nice high guard, which comes forward with. Look, thing is, though, as well, I don't think Canelo's got the movement that he used to have. He has not at all. But it's just the weight. It's just the weight. Crawford's a really awkward southpaw and a really, really, really difficult southpaw. He is, but I think Canelo, you know, I don't think anyone's power goes. It's just his timing and his movements gone. His upper body movement's gone. And his timing's not as good as it once was. Now he's older and he's been in many wars in his career. But it doesn't change the fact his chin showed absolutely no sign of going. His power's still there. He's still dropping guys. He's still dropping these guys. If anyone gets dropped here, it's Crawford, definitely. And I think Canelo's going to be able to walk through his shots. Canelo's going to be able to take some to give some back. Canelo's going to take some and be able to give some back even harder. That's what's going to happen here. That's what's going to happen. Crawford's going to be able to look decent early on. And both guys start slow, but Crawford's going to look decent early on. But Canelo's going to gradually get into it. I think Canelo's going to win a competitive decision. It's going to be a competitive fight, but Canelo's going to be landing the more impactful shots throughout. We're going to hear Canelo shots land on Crawford. We're going to hear Canelo shots land. Crawford, he's an effective puncher. He's a big puncher, but for his weight class, this is at super middleweight, where Canelo's been, Belanga's a big puncher. Like skill-wise, he's not the best, but he's a big puncher, and Canelo's completely fine. Didn't care. McGee's got some decent power. Canelo didn't care. Look at it was a similar situation to Jermell Charlo. Obviously, Crawford's way better than Jermell Charlo, let's say. He, of course, is. But again, it's just a similar situation where Jermell Charlo is a big puncher at the weight, and Canelo didn't care. Canelo just didn't care. And to beat Canelo, you need power. And that's why Bivol was able to wear him out, because he was able to use his weight well in that fight. And he's just such a skilled fighter. But being skilled and power is a big thing. Crawford's skilled in his power, and that is a big thing. That's why he's so good. But I don't know if he has it at super middleweight. Second of all, as well, I reckon his feet might be slower. Crawford's older than Canelo. And Crawford's been in over 40 fights now as well. He's 38 basically now, Terence Crawford. He's 38. A year out's not going to help him. Gaining weight's not going to help him be as flashy as normal. Not going to help him at all. Canelo's natural at this weight. Fought at this weight for many years now. Caleb Plant, again, good puncher. Canelo didn't care. Canelo's not cared about so many of these guys, his shots. And again, Canelo took some massive shots off of Bivol, and Bivol was getting to him. Bivol was hurting him, but Canelo was fine. Canelo survived. Canelo didn't show any signs of getting dropped. He wasn't overly stunned. I think it'll be all right. I think Canelo will be able to walk through some shots to give some. And Canelo cuts off the ring very well. Crawford's going to be forced onto the back foot. Crawford can box off the back foot well and use his footwork, but body shots will wear out Crawford. Can Crawford take shots nicely at super middleweight? It's going to be difficult. And he gets hit more than I feel like people realize. Madrimov was getting to him a lot. As I said, he struggled in that fight when he moved up in weight. Weight's a huge factor in boxing, and it's going to be a huge factor in this fight. I'm picking Canelo. I was going with Crawford when it first got announced, but really looking into it, I think Canelo's got enough to be able to beat him. That's my opinion. Anyway, I'm going to be wrapping it up all here. Thank you all for watching, and I will speak to you all in the next one.